Once upon a time, in a remote Himalayan village, two young men named Lobsang and Dhondup shared a deep bond. They grew up side by side, tending to cattle, gathering firewood, and sharing meals. Their friendship was unbreakable.
One sunny day, while collecting firewood together, they noticed a flurry of movement near the edge of a steep cliff. Dhondup pointed excitedly.
Look, Lobsang, a creature is falling off the cliff. Let's investigate.
At the foot of the mountain lay a treacherous canyon, and a mighty river flowed through it. There, they discovered a musk deer, its lifeless body wedged in the rocky crevice. The canyon was so steep that even wild animals couldn't cross it. Lobsang recognized the musk deer, a rare and valuable creature known for carrying muskrats. He warns Dhondup.
This musk deer is precious, but we cannot retrieve it. The canyon is impassable.
However, greed clouded Dhondup's judgment. He insisted they retrieve the musk deer. Lobsang reluctantly descended into the canyon, securing the deer's body with a rope. He called out to Dhondup to pull him up, but instead, Dhondup abandoned him. Driven by greed, he took the musk deer. For 3 agonizing days, Lobsang clung to the rope, hungry and parched. Desperate, he contemplated leaping into the river below. But fate intervened. The river carried him safely to the opposite shore. Weak but alive, Lobsang realized.
I won't die unless I choose to.
As he rested, he overheard geese conversing nearby. Their words intrigued him.
The king in the lower valley possesses a kind heart. His daughter suffers from a grave illness. Only moist mist from an eagle can cure her.
Lobsang resolved to save the princess. He climbed to the eagle's nest, collected fresh mist, and arrived at the palace.
I can heal the princess,
he declared. The king granted him an audience, and Lobsang administered the mist. Miraculously, the princess recovered. His selfless act caught the king's attention, who rewarded him with marriage to his daughter and promised him the kingdom. Lobsang requested permission to visit his family. The princess assured him,
Go see your mother and sister. They'll be cared for.
Grateful, the king offered Lobsang anything he desired. Lobsang returned home, laden with gifts and 10 servants. But his house was empty. Just as he prepared to leave, he encountered his mother and sister, who had gone out to beg. They didn't recognize him, mistaking him for a stranger. Lobsang revealed his identity, and tears flowed. His mother exclaimed,
But who are you, adorned in jewels and fine clothes?
Mother, it's me, Lobsang. I've returned.
Recounting his adventures, Lobsang's tale bridged the chasm of separation, rekindling familial bonds thought lost to the winds of fate. Lobsang was eager to provide his kin with food to eat, so he went into the mountains to gather firewood. As he swung his axe at the top of the mountain, an unexpected visitor emerged, a sage with a conch shell head residing within a tree. Startled, Lobsang sought forgiveness, prompting the sage to bestow upon him 3 mystical dice, each capable of granting a wish. Returning home, Lobsang rolled the dice, manifesting his desires into reality. A magnificent palace, wealth, and servants akin to royalty materialized before his eyes. Dhondup, witnessing this marvel, approached in wonder, seeking reconciliation. Lobsang, embodying grace, welcomed Dhondup with open arms, lavishing him with riches and forgiveness. Curious about his friend's newfound prosperity, Dhondup learned of the sage's benevolence and harboured thoughts of surpassing Lobsang's fortune. Driven by greed, Dhondup ascended the hill and invoked the sage's presence, receiving 3 dice of his own. Eagerly, he prayed for lavishness, but at the time his wife came out and seat there with him and ask,
"You are still praying. When will you be finishing your prayer?"
Out of anger he said.
Your mother's head. Couldn't you shut your mouth for a while?
At once he found his wishes twisted into nightmarish manifestations. And then suddenly his house was full of the head of his dead mother-in-law, and was so terrifying that he quickly threw a 2nd dice and said,
"May all these heads before me disappear."
And as he said, the heads disappeared, and so did his wife's head. He was so upset that at the last moment he said to the 3rd dice,
"May my wife's head come back to life."
As he had said, his wife's head was back, but his desperation led to a fruitless appeal for restoration, leaving him mourning of wealth and dice. All 3 of his dice were gone, and he had nothing. On the other hand, Lobsang's humility and kindness rewarded him with enduring happiness and prosperity. As he sat upon his throne, surrounded by loved ones, Lobsang realized that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the bonds of friendship and the purity of one's heart.
Stories remind us that kindness and selflessness lead to unexpected rewards, and that even in the darkest moments, hope and love prevail.